Hey everybody, it's Mary. Thanks for stopping by the kitchen. Today we are going to make something that is a family favorite. My son and husband love clam chowder. The New England clam chowder. So I'm going to make some today. We're starting with potatoes, onions, celery, and you can either use leeks or green onions. Don't worry about the amounts and ingredients. As always, I'll throw all that information in the description box for you. Okay, I have my potatoes cut into cubes. Now folks, I've had these sitting in water because water will keep them from turning brown before you cook them. So whenever you prep, just always cover your potatoes with water and don't put any salt or anything in there, and just drain them before you use it. So, I have my potatoes and I have the other veggies. Folks, clean hands, my kitchen, my rules. I'm sure whenever you're cooking that you do the same in your kitchen. If you don't touch your food, let me know in the comments, and that'll be hard to believe. Okay, I have 2 cans of clams. I have them open and I'm draining all the clam juice. I'm putting that in my veggies to go ahead and start the flavor going. Now those will be added in at the very end, guys, so I'm not going to forget about it. Okay, and then I have water. Okay, I'm just going to cover these with water. This actually is about 1/4 of water. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, then I'm going to let it simmer, or I'm going to turn it back down to simmer after it comes up to a boil, and then we're going to boil these until all these veggies get good and tender. Okay, our veggies have cooked long enough to get tender, so I'm going to move this over to the side. But folks, when I go back off camera, I'm going to put it back over here to keep it warm. But the way my stove is, I only have 2 burners to cook with. And if I put it right here and make the roux, then you guys aren't going to see the roux. So, I have to learn to make things work. Okay. I have a heavy bottom pan. And I'm going to put 1.5 sticks of butter in here. All we're going to do is just make a roux, guys, which is basically butter and flour. We're going to let this melt, and as soon as it melts, I'm going to stir the flour in. Okay, the butter is almost all the way melted, so I'm going to go ahead and add the flour. Now folks, that was 1.5 sticks of butter, which is 3/4 cup of butter, and I have 3/4 cup of flour. Okay, I'm just going to stir this up until it comes together and starts to get thick. You guys ever made gravy before? It's basically the same thing as making a gravy, except we're using butter and flour instead of the sausage grease and flour. Stir this together, and it does not take long to get ready to add the milk to it. I'm going to stir it probably 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we'll add the milk. Okay, as you can see, we have a good bubble going on. Now, I'm not going to take this to a real dark color roux because we're having a clam chowder, so we still want it to be nice and white. Okay, so while I'm stirring this, I'm going to gently stir in my 1/2 and 1/2. And folks, I'm going to have to switch hands here. I'm right-handed, and I do not do well with my left hand. I'm going to try to stir this so I don't get lumps in it. Now folks, I bought the bigger size of half and half. You can buy it in a 32-ounce container, but I bought the big one because honestly it's less expensive and I have more that I can do than just this one little recipe. So I'm going to stir this until it comes up to a good bubble, and then we're going to thicken up our clam chowder with it. Okay, as you can see, this is thickened up really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up here. We're going to play the switcheroo, guys. You got to do what you got to do to make it work. Okay, put that right there. And then we're going to stir this in here and do our best to keep it from lumping. Try to stir it really quick. Get everything stirred in there. So far so good. I don't think we have any lumps. Be sure that you rake all of this out of the skillet or frying pan, whatever you want to call it. I usually call it a skillet. Okay. Then I have our seasonings. I have sugar, pepper, and salt. Stir this in here. Mix it up. I'm going to let it simmer for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to put the clams in there. Okay, now we're ready to put the clams in there. Everything is heated back up. Okay, and I just dump them in there. Now folks, the recipe calls for 2, or if you want a more clam flavor in there, put 3, but I opted to put 2. Okay, now with this, all you want to do is stir it up, turn the heat off because the clams are already cooked, and if you overcook them, they're going to get rubbery, so we don't want that. Going to take our bowl, put our beautiful clam chowder out. Now folks, you can eat it just like that, or if you prefer, then you can take some oyster crackers and sprinkle in your bowl. It all depends on how you like to eat your soup, but there you go folks. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on that next video.